Hello, my name is Navin, and I started Paintedfigs. With the rebooting of Warhammer Fantasy Battles in the form of Warhammer the Old World, we've been getting a lot of Old World armies. Many of them have been coming with vintage figures, for which there aren't the greatest resources for how to do them justice. Today, we're going to talk to you about a 30-year-old High Elf army and how we had to figure out the puzzles involved to recapture that old school 90s look. And with me today is Kashan. Kashan, who is mute, is what we call a painter boss, and that's exactly what it sounds like. Kashan had to solve most of the puzzles that were involved in doing this army, and he's going to talk about them when I give him back the power of speech.
Oh, hi.
One of the most important parts of the old school 90s look are Goblin green bases. And right here is a vintage bottle of Goblin green. We use that as our color reference to make sure that all our Goblin green is correct. By the way, Goblin green is a color we still use today in the studio, where we refer to Goblin green and people will go off and paint this color. It's benchmarked, until this paint came along, it was benchmarked in our heads, but now we have this, so our Goblin green is always the same. In addition to the Goblin green base, they also had that old school green flocking on the base, and that is very hard to find today. So we had to recreate that look with just dirt. So over here, you'll be seeing that effect where we tried to capture that look. It's a little more varied in these than it was back in the day, but we think that doesn't take away from the look. So that was the easiest thing. The next thing we had to do was freehand painting.
Freehand was a lot easier because we had pictures that show a lovely freehand done on some of the figures.
And over here, these are the Dark Elves we talked about that have come along to say hi. And all these banners here, freehand painted. Okay. And we had to get the art straight out of the Army book and box art.
Mostly the box art, as seen on the Games Workshop website. But from the Army book, we have this here. The horse blanket has a lovely trim done all by
Are those
freehand.
hearts?
Those are hearts.
What about these shield designs?
So we gave the painters some references and they bashed out these lovely shields on the field.
And that was by Chandima, right?
So Chandima and Lakua.
Chandima has been with us for several months, and her freehand is amazing. Lakura also does fantastic work. Very, very promising painters. I'm very happy with what they did. So it's freehand. There's tons of freehand in this army. You'll be seeing in the B-roll, and also if you go online, we'll put a link in the description for our gallery so we can see these things, see close-ups. But freehand to capture that old school look that you saw people, the heavy metal team doing back in the day to make shields more interesting is one thing. What about the banners? The banners are what you want to pay attention to over here. So, Kashan, what do you want to tell me about how we got this banner? Is that a paper banner that's been photocopied and off the box and colored in the way they say to do so on the box?
Absolutely not. We've done something different. We've taken scans of these.
By we, you mean you, because this is all you.
Mostly me.
This is all him.
We took scans, printed them on transfer papers, and applied them to metal sheets.
Now you did two prints, right? You did two prints of paper, or
Yes.
one on paper to cut the jig, or as a jig to
Yes.
cut the metal banner. So this is sheet metal.
This is sheet metal.
Yeah.
So to cut it out, we need some sort of guide. So we print on a regular piece of paper the banners that we're going to print, cut them out, use them as a stencil, cut the shape of the banner that we need, and then that part is done. We get a printout on the transfer paper, and then cut that out as well, and then we apply it to the sheet metal.
We have a video which will be showing up probably around this point of Kashan doing this and how well it goes. Come back, where are you going? You son of a All right, so you were talking about why you don't like the banners that GW used to send back in the day, the paper ones, and you do things with metal instead. Why do you do things with metal? Explain this to me.
The paper ones are so flimsy.
Okay.
And if they get stuck together, that's it, they're ruined. When you fold them, they start to crack on the paper, you know?
Yeah.
Like you get those little creases, like on my phone, look at it, it just comes off.
What's the thing you're attaching the decal to? Don't say the banner.
Oh, a little metal sheet.
Metal sheet. Why are you using a metal sheet?
Because it's so sturdy. and it stays in place.
Forever?
It's forever.
Forever.
Yeah, the durability on it is like insane. Like this is a decal that will stay for life. Oops. Needs to be adjusted or it will be lost for life. Ah, craps. Well,
So that sounds pretty straightforward. What do you do if, do you have any issues where maybe the scans weren't all that you wanted? The box art wasn't what you needed?
yes, because these are old material. There is not much resources for some of the old material, and what we had was the army books. That was a primary source. From that we got scans of some of the banners like this, but the boxes themselves also have elements that we can use by scanning. Because we didn't have a good reference other than the box for this, we scanned the banners for that, but part of the banner was obscured by the other banner, so we had to digitally remake the banner itself for the missing parts.
There's no we in this. This was all him. This was all Kashan looking at the artwork and going, okay, I have to fill in the rest of the bits and pieces to get this banner as it should be. And from there he did his print. So that was very impressive. That on top of the metalwork I was pleased with. What about these two here? What's special about these two?
So there is no army book or box for us to scan. So we have to scour the internet and find the best reference we can. And there isn't any good references sometimes. In this case, the best looking image we got, we scanned it, but it is warped, it is not as clear, so that had to be digitally enhanced, photoshopped slightly, just to get the image done.
It was pretty legit. I would not have thought that you had to redo that one.
But some picture is not clear enough to enhance. This one had to be completely also digitally created. So looking at what reference we have, which is so blurry, we created a vector image of the designs on the banner and then printed it.
So how come this was easier? You had to recreate art
Because
from
it's
scratch.
just recreating simple images. This is simple geometry in the image. The elven runes itself were easy also because I found a reference online that explained what the runes are. So I just traced those. They're simple to do. This one is very complex to do. It was easy to just work with the poor image reference. But if you had to redo it and from scratch, that will take much longer.
Thank you, Kashan. Kashan brings this kind of madness to everything he does. We put him in charge of all the weird projects, especially corrections, where people have very specific things they want done. He will hunt it down and get it done. So that's kind of his secret talent. He has raised the bar for what we find we are doing. But this is quite well. Thank you very much, Kashan. I am very fond of this metal banner. I'm going to steal it unless there's an objection.
Take two.
The rest of the painting was actually kind of routine, straightforward for us. Painting is what we do. We had art to match. The clients were very helpful here. And this was, it was hard. We had a lot of work to do on these, but it was nothing surprising. It was nothing out of the ordinary. So what's interesting about this project is that it's really two armies we're working on. One was the High Elves, and the other were these Dark Elves. Two brothers came to us and said, look, we used to play these back in the day. We want you to paint them up so we can play again. They live in two different parts of the world now, so we're shipping these off to Canada, and after this arrives there, one of the brothers is going to fly to Canada to unbox it with his other brother. So it was nice to be part of that and to have a little role in bringing some happiness to people. So yeah. Thank you all very much for your time. Kashan, anything you want to add?
Elves. High elves. That's about it.
Thank you very much for your time. Take care. So Jude, I'm very happy with the quality of video support you've been giving us. Do you think you'll be able to replace putty in this?